Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Sorry for the slight inactivity, but I think it's important now to get this video out there because this is something that's been on my mind for the last 24 hours or so. I actually got my teeth like aligners put in. That's why I didn't upload any video for you guys. It was supposed to be out yesterday, but I'm putting it out for you now. I'm not one normally that reacts to transfer news or transfer kind of like, speculation, but I think this is one that you need to speak about. And as a Liverpool supporter, it's something that I am very, very impressed with and something that's really caught my attention. And that's that I've read Alexander Isak could be on his way to Liverpool. Now, don't take that face value because I'm going to explain myself. But before I do that, if you guys are new here, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you never miss any one of my videos and more content is coming your way. So, what I just told you was Alexander Isak is going to Liverpool. It is a rumor, and it's a rumor that has spread very, very quickly over social media. Now, a report from the very credible journalist David Ornstein, one of the top transfer journalists, and when he speaks, a lot of people do listen. Him, Fabrizio Romano, and many, many others. But those are the main two in this society where transfers have become so like spread around on social media and been in such attention. And I think it's important to speak about this. So David Ornstein said this about Liverpool's forward signings. He said, they will obviously have multiple options, speaking about Liverpool, on their radar, but the only name I've personally heard so far is Alexander Isak. Liverpool aren't alone in liking the Swede. Well, he is one of the best strikers in the Premier League and arguably in Europe. Liverpool will only move for Isak if he is generally available. Then Craig Hope, who is a journalist who reports on, that side of the country, Newcastle and etc. Because he's kind of a Geordie journalist, like he knows all about Newcastle. He reported saying Newcastle are scouring the market for big ticket strikers this summer. Now, I think that line, there is more to it, but that line is very, very important. So there could be something in there. Preference and intention for Isak to stay, but contingency plan is necessary. And Paul Mitchell and his team know they cannot be caught cold should the situation change. That, for me, shows you that even Newcastle are kind of concerned about the prospect of Isak not being at the club next season. Now, at this point of the season, it is speculation. We're in March. Newcastle are trying to get into the Champions League, and it's looking more and more likely that 5 teams will enter the Champions League through the coefficients. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the Premier League because of how high England are ranked in the coefficient table. But Newcastle are forward planning. They are making sure that they don't get caught cold because Isak, if Newcastle don't qualify for the Champions League, then it could be a situation where Alexander Isak asks Newcastle, look, I've given you 3 years now. I want to move on. I want to challenge for the Premier League, the Champions League, which Newcastle looked to set to do before FFP regulations kind of stepped in and kind of stopped all that. But this report from 2 credible journalists, David Ornstein and Craig Hope, I think showcases the fact that Newcastle themselves are planning ahead in case the situation changes. And it also signifies that Liverpool are looking to sign a striker in the summer window with the futures of Darwin Núñez, Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz, and Federico Chiesa all up in speculation, along with Mohamed Salah with his contract situation. But I think what Liverpool fans are so excited about and what excites me, and I think a load of Premier League fans are going to be looking at this thinking, if Liverpool are going to win the title, they can win the Champions League, and they're now adding Alexander Isak, and that's if they wrap up Salah and Van Dijk and Trent's contract. So you can have a situation where you could have Salah, Isak, Van Dijk, Trent all in one team, which looks insane. But Liverpool fans must be very, very excited because they thought that Darwin Núñez was going to be that bagsman number 9. He cost a load of money from Benfica. Diogo Jota can score goals. We've seen that in the past. But is he really reliable in terms of his injury record? And he's an exceptional player, as is Darwin Núñez, has his own exceptional traits. But Alexander Isak is mobile. He's tall. He's fast. 2 feet. Can play on either side of the wing. Can play centrally. Can link play. Is good in the air. He's got a lethal shot. He's got everything you want in a modern day forward. And Liverpool, there's obviously a reason why Liverpool look at Alexander Isak for goals and somebody that can lead the line for them for many, many years. He's at a very, very nice age of 25, 24. He is the seventh fastest player in Premier League history to score 50 goals. He's got 19 goals in the league this season for Newcastle United. And that alone should show you how ridiculous of a footballer that this man is. He's got 76 appearances for Newcastle in the Premier League, 50 goals. And I'll be so honest with you, he's got 58 goal involvements in 76 games for Newcastle. That is absurd. Absolutely absurd. He's got 19 goals this season in the Premier League in 24 games. The year before that, he scored 21 goals in 30. He is a player that guarantees you 20 goals a season. 20 goals a season. And I know a lot of people have question marks about his fitness. Can he stay available for Newcastle? The proof is in the pudding. This man plays, this man scores. It's very, very simple. And you now add him to a team which create a lot more chances than Newcastle. And that's not disrespect, that's a fact. Liverpool are better. They create more chances and are more ruthless in front of their goal, which is why they score the most goals. And, even in the defense, they concede less. It's because they have better players and an all-round better team. And look, I think if Isak is available for that Carabao Cup final, I think Liverpool fans, a load of them at Wembley, will have a better look at Alexander Isak. But he's got a very, very good record against Liverpool. I remember the first time he played Liverpool, was that 2-1 defeat for Newcastle at Anfield in 22-23, quite early on in the season. And he scored a goal, the opener, and then one ruled out as well. And those two finishes was like, you put him in front of the goal, he's going to score. That's how good of a striker he is. Then we saw it this season. We saw it last season at Anfield. He got a goal. We've seen it this season. At St James's Park, 2 goals, and he had one ruled out in that game as well. He's got a pretty decent record against some of the big sides. He scored against Arsenal quite regularly. He scored against Manchester City quite regularly. He's got a decent record against the big sides. He got a goal at Old Trafford. He's a good player, very, very good player, and arguably the most complete forward in the Premier League. You look at Haaland. Maybe Haaland doesn't link play as well as Alexander Isak, but I think this guy in the press, in the air, 2 feet, on the wings, centrally, he is guaranteeing you goals, 20 goals a season. And I think that's what Liverpool are really looking at as well. And I think it will help their cause. Arne Slot has come in. He's trying to put his imprint on this team. And maybe Alexander Isak is that catalyst for Liverpool to go and succeed over the next 7 or 8 years, like Klopp did with Virgil van Dijk and Alisson. And that transformed Liverpool into the side they are. You can add Mo Salah, Sadio Mane in there as well, additions. But this will be Slot's proper transfer window, I think, because when he first came into the job, he wanted to assess his whole squad. He didn't really do any business in January, but now he's had a season with all these players to see how they perform in this system, how they play. And finally, he can then add his own kind of tweaks to it, as Jurgen Klopp did. And I think Alexander Isak is the perfect central forward for Liverpool for not only this season, not for next season, for many, many years to come, because he's young, he's quick, he's energetic and ambitious. And he will be going to a club that are going to win the Premier League, that have probably won the Carabao Cup final if, they play Newcastle in a couple of weeks. And the Liverpool are strong favourites going. So it's not a formality, but they are looking like strong favourites and a team that could potentially also win the Champions League this season. So he's going to a team that's won a treble. Not the treble, but a treble. 3 trophies in a season in Arne Slot's first year with the players that Liverpool had. They haven't really added to that squad from last season. Chiesa, yes, but he's not really been involved. It's the same team as last season, just a new manager, new system, new coaching staff that have blended well together and given you this. And I think a lot of players are going to be looking at Liverpool as a potential place to go in the summer. I think if Salah or Van Dijk extend, which I expect they do, Trent, I'm not too sure. But if Salah, Van Dijk and Trent all extend, it's going to be a very, very, attractive place for a lot of players to go to. And Liverpool get Alexander Isak, I think it puts them firm favourites to win the title next season, because they now have Mo Salah, who scores you 30 goals a season, 25, 30 goals a season. You've got now Alexander Isak, who's scoring 20 goals in the Newcastle side, which don't create as much at Liverpool, which then could reflect further that Liverpool create more chances, so he'd score more goals. Then you've got the likes of Cody Gakpo, who's had a really good season. You had another season of McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch will probably be grown into that role. Maybe a new left back in, but Robertson with the experience of Virgil van Dijk and Alisson and Trent, all of these players that have been there and done it would have done it again. And adding these fine little players to the 11 for Liverpool will just progress them even further. And I think having a player like this can only bode well for Liverpool. And I think the rest of the Premier League, especially Arsenal, have been heavily linked with Alexander Isak. If Liverpool get their hands on Alexander Isak, it could be a serious problem for the rest of the Premier League, because Arsenal really need a striker, whether that's Isak, whether that's Šeško, Cunha, whoever they sign. Arsenal, they do need a number 9. But if Liverpool get Isak, that's one number 9 off the market that is really top level, especially somebody that's proven in the Premier League as well. And you look around the league, there's not many of those, bar Haaland, Isak, and maybe Matheus Cunha, who's not really a striker. He's more of not a 10, not a striker. He plays in between the lines, 9.5. But I don't like using that kind of explanation. But he's a good player. But is he really a guy that will score you 20 goals a season? I'm not too sure. Isak is proven in this league against not only, you know, the lesser teams in the Premier League, no disrespect, but the bigger, best teams in the league as well. And that's what separates Arsenal from the rest of the league in terms of the top teams, Liverpool, City, is that they don't have that killer. And Isak most definitely is a killer in front of goal. Liverpool get Isak, it could be a very, very, very bright season for Arne Slot's men next season. But who knows? Right now it's all speculation. But let me know what you think, guys. Will Alexander Isak be a Liverpool player in the summer? Or would he stay at Newcastle? I think it all depends on the Champions League. But stranger things have happened in football. Get your comments in below, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.